What's up, Waymakers? It's me, Mommy Suna. And I have a lot of stuff to say before we get into this Zoom call that we're going to watch today. Lots of stuff about the content we're going to be seeing, some disclaimers and things. It's all very important to get to and to mention before we get to watching things. But before we do any of that, real quick, I just want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Earthbreeze, which I already ripped this. This is the second time I've had to film this because my mic wasn't recording the first time, and I done diddly did a little rippy poo. I'll get to it. Earthbreeze changed the way that I do laundry, and there's so much wrong with old-fashioned laundry detergent. Like how heavy those big liquid plastic jugs of laundry juice are. They're heavy, and I groomed dogs for about a decade, and it destroyed my back. So like lifting heavy things like that and putting them in a shopping cart, or even just like bringing them into my house, it's a lot for me. It messes with my back. By the way, that laundry juice I mentioned earlier that you find in traditional laundry detergent is made up of up to 90% water. And guess what our washing machines already use to clean our laundry? That's right, it already uses water, so what the heck is the point of adding more water to it? And Earthbreeze was like, yeah, what is the point of any of that? And so they came up with these little guys. When I say little guys, don't underestimate the power. They look like dryer sheets, but they are not. They are actually detergent sheets. They dissolve 100% in hot or cold water in any cycle, any machine. No measuring, just toss one of these sheets in and you're good to go. And of course, they're tough on stains and they remove odor. They made the concept of detergent better in more ways than one. So like, yeah, convenience is great. Okay, we get it. But let's consider the fact that 91% of plastic ends up in a landfill, and over 700 million laundry detergent jugs end up in landfills and oceans every year. And that's obviously not great for the earth. The packaging is compact and biodegradable. That's why I tore it. See, it's cardboard. Tear it some more. Sorry, Earthbreeze. I dug a freaking hole for this sponsorship, which is hard to do in Arizona because it never rains and our dirt is super dry. But look, I buried parts of their packaging and I'll never see it again because it's biodegradable. It's vegan, it's cruelty-free, it's dermatologically tested, and it's safe for sensitive skin. Also, you never have to worry about running out of detergent again because Earthbreeze offers a flexible subscription service that you can adjust or cancel anytime with no penalty. They also have a really cool buy one, give 10 initiative where every purchase of these laundry eco sheets donates 10 washes, and every purchase of dishwasher power pebbles or hope cloths donates 10 meals. And as if you could need another reason to make the switch, they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee or your money back, no questions asked, no return necessary. Take that, basically every MLM ever. So if you're ready to make the switch, of course I have a discount for you. Go to earthbreeze.com/SavannahM to get started with 40% off. That's earthbreeze.com/SavannahM for 40% off your subscription. Thank you again, Earthbreeze, for sponsoring today's video. Sorry for absolutely destroying your packaging, but it was purposeful destruction. Now, let's get into some more serious stuff. Okay, I often see comments when we're talking about kind of problematic behavior from multi-level marketing distributors of people like, oh my god, I can't watch this because of this, and I can't watch this video because she said this. Maybe it triggers you, or maybe it makes you uncomfortable, whatever. I'm just gonna say this here. There are multiple things in this Zoom call that are so just disturbing, but also manipulative, disgusting. Like, this is probably one of the worst Zoom calls I have ever seen. So the content warnings I'm going to give you are things like these distributors say that Young Living treats things like autism, ADHD, schizophrenia, other mental health issues, like mentions of feeling like themselves again and stuff like that. Ningxia placenta, I've talked about that in a video before, and just pregnancy claims in general, people telling you to use Young Living products and essentially chug Ningxia Red during pregnancy, alongside like hormonal imbalances. There's claims about that. And worst of all, I'm gonna just come out here and say this. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm not holding anything back here because I want you to know just how messed up this Zoom call is. One lady is gonna claim that Young Living oils stopped her son in the middle of him trying to unalive himself. Yeah, Yup. She is going to say this, and it is shocking. It is going to shock you. This Zoom call, every moment of this Zoom call is going to shock you. Now, also, on a lighter note, I was not alone in this video. I had my friend Kat Benson, or you can find her on YouTube, Instagram, at a dietitian Kat Benson. That's her handle. She is wonderful. She is one of the sweetest and most kind humans on the planet, but she's also a registered dietitian, and I thought it was important to have her here while these people were making these claims. So make sure you're checking out Kat's channel and her Instagram and all that. She likes to focus more on MLMs that are of the health and wellness variety. So she's great, love her, and I appreciate that she was here for all this. Also, the first like 20 minutes, my camera is like super whitewashed because I filmed this whole thing on my webcam because it was a Zoom call between me and Kat. I do fix it later, but then it just has other problems. So like it's not the clearest video in the whole wide world. So I apologize for that, but I just want to put it out there. But okay, without further ado, I think you are thoroughly prepared. Yeah, so here's the Zoom call from hell. Do you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure.
This is Kat.
I am Kat. So I'm a licensed registered dietitian nutritionist, and I like to deep dive on MLM, specifically nutrition related ones.
Yes, and you should go check out her channel because she is much smarter than me.
I just love nutrition.
She's a good person to have here. So, I mean, I figured she would be good to jump in on all the more like, because, you know, Young Living people love to eat essential oils. That's
right.
Just what they do. And from what I understand, this Zoom call is going to be a bit of a roller coaster with that. So it's perfect to have you here. So thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's just press play.
Let's go.
You guys, my name is Kim Hunt. I'm a gold leader on the Baby Steps team, and we have some amazing, amazing women who are going to share stories with you tonight. So tell us in the comments what oil you're wearing right now while we get this going.
Ew. It's always weird to me that they wear oils like as perfume.
I put on olive oil. Just kidding.
Olive oil? I like to smell like olives.
It's the best kind.
It's my favorite scent.
Avocado oil.
Ew. Vegetable oil. Just slather it all over yourself.
Freedom.
If you wear Freedom oil, it makes you more free. You get more freedom if you wear Freedom oil. Like, what
hell yeah, brother.
But that's what they do though. Like when they name these oils, like that Valor one, I remember Jacob Young saying that Gary made Valor when like he was going to court for something and he like needed, I don't know,
good
he just felt like good vibes, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like some of them can be kind of dog whistly. There's a certain group of people that typically will see those and be like, yes, I want to have that oil.
Just because of the name. Because Gary put the name on there. It's so stupid.
I know that we are meant to hear these amazing stories tonight. Oh, we're not recording tonight, so I need to turn that off too. So I'm so glad that y'all are here because we are not recording this tonight. Some of these stories that you're going to hear tonight are just absolutely insane. You're really, really, really in for a treat.
That's right. Okay, so the person who sent me this Zoom call messaged me and they were like, I got this Zoom call. They're not recording it.
That means that there's going to be some sketch things going on.
They're not recording it because they don't want people to know or ever hear again what people were talking about here in this Zoom.
You were invited tonight. If you are not a current member of the Baby Steps team, a current oiler, you were invited by someone tonight who truly, truly cares for you and sees that we have something amazing that could change your life. I know the stories that you're going to hear tonight are just going to blow your socks off. And so you're going to hear from myself and Belle and Glory and Barb. And I'm just going to start the evening off. I have been oiling for over 8 years. We started using oils to help my son with ADHD. And honestly, like you would think that by this point, nothing would surprise me, but I am still amazed and shocked on a regular basis of how our oils like solve a major problem in my life.
Could you say that's a health claim after she just threw out ADHD?
I would submit that. But look at that comment though. What does that say?
Would love to hear stories about recovery from vaccine injuries. Having so many friends suffering from that. First of all, how?
Right.
Also, thank you for paying attention to the chat. I need to do that because I'm sure that's going to have a lot of good shit
There are
too.
a couple of good things in there. I hate so much how people are talking about the effects of that and like assuming it's that versus the actual virus.
Or just another medical condition for that matter.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
But no, it's a vaccine injury.
It's the
Everything is always the vaccine. injury's fault. I don't know a single person who was vaccine injured. I think my dad got hives, and like that's like the worst. So I guess technically that would also be a vaccine injury. They would report it as that, but it's like when they say vaccine injuries, they make it sound so dramatic.
And in the cases where it can happen, because there's not something that's going to be like perfect for every single person, but it just makes those people who actually have issues, it makes them harder to be taken seriously.
Also, look at this, like, what are these oils? That's the most unorganized oil collection I've ever seen in my life. Like, are those the ones that like, she just doesn't use?
I think those are empty bottles. So kind of like wine, you know how like wine corks, to use those as decoration? Use empty bottles as decoration.
Jesus Christ. You're probably right. Oh my God. And that's not even cute though. Like at least make it cute or something. It's not cute.
To help us help our son with ADHD. And we just started learning more and more and more. If you have a pocket reference book, that's what I started with. I just started, once I had them, I was like, okay, I'll just look things up in my book. And then we started using them and they started working and we were like so shocked. And so now we actually use oils pretty much for everything. They are our go-to for everything. Ningxia is my daily go-to. Like I drink so much Ningxia, y'all. It's actually a running joke how much Ningxia I drink. But a while back, something you need to know
tried
about,
it, right?
Yes, I have tried Ningxia, and I can say from experience that it's not like disgusting, but it's not as good as you would think with it being a fruit juice. It's a strange flavor for sure. Not only that, but like how much of it are you drinking? Because I'm pretty sure the person who sent it to me came in like little packets that were pre-portioned. I think there were 2 ounces each. And I think you were supposed to take one of those pouches twice a day. So like 4 ounces per day is like the recommended dose. So I'm like, if you're drinking it all day, like how much of this are you drinking? And is that healthy? Probably not.
There's such a thing as too many antioxidants. Absolutely.
Really?
So, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
But I can imagine there's probably a lot of sugar in Ningxia too, because it's all fruit juice.
I'd be more concerned over just all of the variety of superfoods that they put in there.
Also, like that's expensive too. It's $50 a bottle, I'm pretty sure. Well, that's the undiscounted price, I'm pretty sure. But still, I mean, $45 a bottle.
Something to just kind of
chug,
guzzle down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joke how much Ningxia I drink. But a while back, something you need to know about me is I only have one kidney. I lost it in a car accident when I was very, very young. I only have one kidney. And something that I have struggled with throughout my adulthood is high blood pressure. And I think if I had not had these amazing oils and tools, I would be on blood pressure medication. I mean, starting probably in my early 30s, doctors wanted to put me on blood pressure medication. And I just kept saying, no, I'm going to figure this out. I know there's another way. I've done all kinds of things, diet, all the things that we can do. And it was just a couple years ago, maybe last year, when they released the news that blood pressure medication causes kidney failure, guys.
Do you know anything about that?
So I looked into that. There was new kidney research out of the University of Virginia School of Medicine that it was raising some concerns that long-term use that are of drugs commonly prescribed to treat high blood pressure could be contributing to kidney damage. But overall, they recommend the patients continue to take it because it's more beneficial. There needs to be more studies to understand more of the long-term effects of things. So it wasn't just like a flat out kind of claim that she said. Like there was more nuance to that.
Okay, so because she said it causes kidney failure,
right? You're
making it sound like there was one study and we're not really sure of how bad the damage is.
And I will say though, I am a registered dietitian, so I'm not a pharmacist or a doctor, but that was my understanding. I do know there are a couple of pharmacists who watch my channel who might watch this too. So if they want to put anything else in the chat, like that'd be awesome.
But I mean, in general, I think back to like when I was pregnant and stuff, and you're a mom too, so maybe, you might have experienced things like this, but like, cause I've been on SSRIs and basically both of my pregnancies, my doctor was just like, you need to stay on them. So while it's not necessarily like the safest thing in the world, they're like, it's more important that you're on that. The side effects are like minimal compared to what could happen if you were off of it. So
yeah, fear mongering, essentially encouraging people to get off of it. I mean, if I heard that and I didn't know any better, I'd be like, oh crap, I'm going to stop taking them.
And I just remember being so thankful at the time that I had held strong and found amazing things to help support healthy blood pressure, because I probably wouldn't be here, right? Only one kidney, probably wouldn't be here right now. So, okay, so tonight I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. It's the most recent health crisis that I've dealt with. And it really started a few years ago, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. Like the last 3 years have been extremely, extremely stressful for a lot of people. And over the last 2 years, my family moved from California to Texas. I actually moved here before my husband and with my 2 kids and our 2 dogs, and we lived in an RV without my husband while we were building a house. My husband was still living in California. I'm in this RV with our 2 kids, our 2 dogs. And we did that for 8 months. And then around that same time, my oldest son graduated from high school and started college. And literally that exact same month, we found out that the military was going to be mandating the COVID vaccine. And for us, that just did not resonate with our family. And so my husband had to make a decision, and we found out that he was going to have to retire immediately. There was some other stuff that went in on that. Like he went through some paperwork and asked to stay in.
He had to retire immediately. No, he had no other choice.
No.
I hate it when they say this shit. He could have just gotten a vaccine.
Right.
And he could have kept his job, his career. But no, that's not an option.
Eventually it came back and he had to retire. And it happened very fast. We were given about 2 weeks notice that he had to end his military career of 22 years very, very quickly. And we had just built a house, and we did not know how we were going to pay the bills. We didn't know how we were going to keep our house. We didn't know how we were going to stay afloat. And so all of these things caused this massive, massive amount of stress in our lives. And my husband ended up being unemployed for about 5 months.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I keep thinking about this, but a massive level of stress. We were going to lose our house. My husband had to retire. All they had to do was get a free vaccine.
Right. I was going to say, too, because you mentioned that 22 years of retirement, right? So my husband's military. I actually asked him, he's still going to get paid, right? So because he was 22 years retirement, he was probably getting 52% of the base pay. Plus they're getting, still have benefits, VA benefits. It's not like they are just nothing's coming in.
So even in this situation, it's not like he was what do they call it? Discharged.
Dishonorably discharged. No.
I just want to say, I am so thankful for the Young Living Income opportunity, because that's actually what kept us afloat during those 5 months. And so I just have to say, those of you that are interested in that, is
base pay that
they're
still.
No, he was honorably discharged from the military and got nothing else.
So it's just Young Living keeping them.
Just Young Living. Thank you. Come on, dude. Such bullshit.
It is such a life-changing thing. But it just created so much stress in our lives. I cannot even describe how much stress we were under. And by the way, moms, nobody prepared me that when your first child goes off to college, it is the most I don't know, heart-wrenching thing. It was just so hard for me. And so we went through all of this crazy stuff, all of this stress. And then on top of it, last June, I got COVID. Now, I did not get a bad case of COVID whatsoever. I mean, for me, it was like a 20-hour nap. Really, it was not bad at all. But it was like a perfect storm. On top of all of that stress, then I got COVID. And I know a lot of people have dealt with long-term COVID
And I'm not laughing
issues.
because
I noticed.
I'm laughing just because that's not surprising.
Yeah, same. I'm just no shit, you got COVID. Oh, that's shocking.
It's probably a few months after that, my hair started falling out, and it changed texture completely. My hair changed complete texture. It was just crazy, and it started falling out. But then heart palpitations started happening. My heart was just beating like crazy constantly. It was all over the place. I couldn't get real good breaths in. I could not take deep breaths. It was I was having trouble breathing.
This might be a reason why having a vaccine could be beneficial.
Everything that she's talked about this entire time could have been avoided. From her husband losing his job to all of these long symptoms, all of them could have been avoided, if not even just helped by just getting it back.
Because there are people who really did try to, do everything they can, and they still got it. And that just happens. But yeah,
your chances are definitely much lower after you get that dang vaccine. All this stress could have been avoided. You'd probably have the same old hair texture too.
I mean, the smallest thing, I can't even describe. If I got out to my car and didn't have my car keys with me and had to go back inside the car, all of a sudden my whole body would go into this fight or flight reflex. And I mean massive adrenaline shooting through my body, and I'd almost pass out. And this was happening multiple times a day, where I am about to pass out. Adrenaline is shooting through my body. It is I cannot even describe. It was awful. The whole time I'm thinking I'm fine. I've got all of these tools available to me. I'm going to figure this out. And what did I start doing? I started doing everything, literally all the things. I'm putting all the oils on and taking all the supplements and doing all of this stuff. And like nothing was really working. And so
Why are you face palming?
Because she said nothing was really working. Like, obviously.
Right. That's because it's
She's
all
taking
bullshit.
all the things.
All the things except the one thing that's been proven to help.
Right.
Okay.
I finally went to a functional medicine doctor and, told, like, basically sat down and just like,
Dude, hold on. All the people in the chat, they're like, yes, this happened to me. Oh, yes, I have long haulers. So sorry. Same. Awful. Yeah, this was me too. Debilitating.
You know who's not saying that stuff?
People who are vaccinated. No, haven't you heard? We're all dying. I'm pretty sure they're still saying that. They're just like, yeah. The people who got the vaccines are all dying off right now. It's like, we're all fine. I'm actually, I need to go get my booster. I'm like ready for another one, dude. I just never leave my house, so I just like I'm never in a place to just go get one. But like I want to go get a booster. But no, these people are just like, my hair's falling out. Everything's awful.
And he basically said to me, he was like, your stress levels are completely out of control and you have to get them under control. And he did some testing on me, and he said what he ended up saying was that my adrenals were so under stress. They were actually putting stress on my heart and my kidney. And it scared me so much because I do only have one kidney, and heart and kidney things go hand in hand. And I was like, oh, this is bad. Because I was kind of like, I feel awful, but I'm okay, But when I went to him, he was like, you need to get this under control. And so the craziest part of it is that he's really familiar with Young Living products. And so
191 participants. There were a lot of people in the Zoom.
A lot of people.
That's scary.
He told me what to do. I stopped doing all the things and I did exactly what he told me to do. And within 30 days, my hair stopped falling out. I stopped having massive adrenaline shooting through my body. I could take breaths. Like, it was the craziest thing so fast. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when you've been doing this for 8 years, you get used to it. But, I keep thinking nothing's going to surprise me anymore. I've heard some crazy stories, nothing like mine, crazy stories. Like you're going to hear from Barb tonight. And yet I'm still surprised every single time. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys what he had me do. If this is something that you're struggling with, first of all, he said Ningxia, which wasn't a problem. I drink Ningxia all day long. Literally probably drink about 8 ounces of Ningxia a day. So
that's what I was saying earlier. Like they were saying on the packet, like up to 4 ounces a day, and she doubles that. And if she's drinking it all day, she probably isn't even measuring it. Maybe she's chugging more of it.
Yeah, because it's a better price to get the whole bottle. So I'm sure, is she really measuring it out?
She's probably just got a full ass bottle, just like taking a swig out of it all day, like a water bottle. That can't be good for you.
No.
What he had me do is start making adrenal cocktails. And so I would just basically mix about 2 ounces of Ningxia, a cup of like coconut water, throw in some acerola powder. You can get that from like Sprouts if you have a Sprouts, or, maybe Whole Foods. And then like a pinch of Redmond's real salt. And so I was drinking one of those every single day. He had me taking 2 Cortistop in the morning and 2 Cortistop at night.
Wait, who is this that she's talking about? Who did she?
Functional medicine doctor.
What is that?
Functional medicine. So pseudoscience.
Okay. See, I didn't know that that's what that was. But obviously, like the way she's like, oh, yeah, the first thing he said I have to do is start drinking Ningxia Red. Okay. I'm going to say that's not a medical professional then. Just going to spitball here. Or, sure, he's a medical professional, but he's a
not an MD, though.
Right. Yeah, there's no way he has like an accredited. Either that, he could and just be.
He could have gone over to that side. Yeah.
Gone to the dark side. Yeah. It makes me so mad that there are people that do this that own clinics like this,
and they will go after people who are at a very vulnerable place and who are just trying. And one of the most frustrating things is that a lot of times, like there's so many issues with our healthcare system overall, and one of the issues promotes this, because one of the issues being that a lot of medical doctors just don't have a lot of time to really spend that individual time one-on-one with their patients. And so sometimes their patients, for good reason, don't feel like they're being listened to. And so they will seek out these other people who will listen to them and prey on them and just sell them all of their supplements and non-evidence-based protocols. And it's really, it can delay actual care that they need. It can be very damaging.
It's so sad. Really, when you put it that way, that's sad.
It happens so much in America, and so much of my question is, how much would that happen? How many of these MLMs, outside of the financial side, but on the health side, how many of them would be where they're at if we didn't have these kind of issues in our healthcare system.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, they have Young
Access
Living in a
issues.
lot of different countries, but like I'm sure that if you were to compare all of them as far as health claims and stuff go, they've got to be very centralized
America
here.
is just, it's sad.
It's almost like our healthcare system sucks. Anyway.
Cortistop, you guys, it's an amazing, amazing supplement. And I had been taking it for a long time. I've taken it and I take it kind of like when I'm stressed out, but he had me taking it very consistently. So 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, a ton of super C chewables. So something that I did not know is that the adrenal glands have a high concentration of vitamin C, which is needed to produce cortisol. You have to have vitamin C to produce cortisol. And so when you're overstressed, when you're under a lot of stress, your adrenals eat up that vitamin C that much faster. And so you have to be taking a lot of vitamin C. And so I mean, guys, like my friends know this, like I will take handfuls of super C chewables. And also if you're doing like any kind of diet where you're not eating any sugar, they make a great little sweet snack every now and then. They're really sweet. I love them. So that's just a bonus.
Okay,
next,
pause.
She takes vitamins as a snack? I don't think that's safe.
Dessert.
As for dessert.
Okay, so she said handfuls and handfuls of this product, right? This Super C chewable tablet that they have. So like one serving on their website, I'm literally looking at their website, Super C chewable tablets. It says that it contains, for one serving, one tablet, 150% of the recommended dietary intake of vitamin C per serving. And she's taking handfuls and handfuls of that. Now, high vitamin C can potentially cause some issues with kidney stones.
Right, that's what that's what I was
research is
thinking.
kind of, it depends on the study, but also more concerning for me. Well, I guess, yeah, I don't know if more concerning, but concerning, very concerning. If you have so much of it, it can act as a pro-oxidant and potentially contribute to development of certain cancers. So like increased risk of cancer with high intakes of vitamin C supplementation. You won't typically see this in like food intake, but supplements. Not a fan of her just kind of willy-nilly talking about this and maybe having some people, any one of those almost 200 people on the call, like potentially starting that on their own.
And I just wonder, like, obviously this is a big team, but it's like, this isn't all of Young Living. And it's like, is this just kind of a normal thing with people in Young Living? That they're all just out here just like, oh yeah, you could take as many as you want and it won't hurt you because we're Young Living. That's so dangerous.
Just because it's vitamin C doesn't mean that you can, take handfuls and handfuls every day.
Right. I mean, because it is vitamin C is probably the reason you shouldn't.
Right. Any vitamin.
The same thing with Super C applies to mineral essence. If you are under a lot of stress, your body is burning through minerals. You literally are not getting the minerals that you need in your body. And so, so I was doing 5 dropperfuls, sometimes 10 a day of mineral essence. And there are some amazing, amazing testimonies about mineral essence. I think our group in general has like increased the sales of mineral essence like crazy because we're always sharing about mineral essence on these calls. Finally, no caffeine. Except for nitro. Nitro is the only caffeine that I have. And it's about 30 milligrams of caffeine. It's not like a crazy, crazy boost of caffeine or anything like that, but it's amazing. And it's very, very nourishing for your thyroid gland. And then the last thing is I did a lot of detox baths. I just take like 1 a day anyway. And so I just
nourishing for your thyroid gland. That's just something that I haven't heard before.
I need thyroid therapy.
I mean, other than like a medication.
Yeah, what a strange thing to say now that you mention it.
All the calming oils to the baths. And then if you have any adrenal issues, energy essential oil is like the best thing ever. Just stick a roller top on the top of that sucker and roll it over your adrenal glands, which sit right above the kidneys. So just think kidneys and roll that energy roller right above the kidneys. So again, 30 days, guys. 30 days, massive change. My hair is completely different. I'm not under a lot of stress anymore. And no more fight or flight reflex. So that has been like really, really great.
Praise Jesus.
I feel really confident. I'm going back for a checkup to see, where things are, but I know, because you know how your body feels, right?
Oh, this person in the chat's like, please share how you take mineral essence. It's gross. She's like, I take like 5 droppers of it per day and it's gross. Ew. Hey, Young Living, can you do something about
mixing
that?
It.
She's gotta be if
mixing
it's gross. And that's not the first Young Living product that people have been like, it doesn't taste good. They have like a collagen powder. I think they make it with fish collagen or whatever, and they're like on that oil show, they're like, oh yeah, some people can really taste the fishy flavor. I'm like, that's not good.
Not if you're putting it in like a smoothie.
Right. Ew. Yeah, that's like some fear factor shit, dude.
Okay, so the next person that we are going to have speak with us is Belle. So Belle, I'm gonna mute myself and turn it over to you.
I'm a stay-at-home mom of 3. My third is due in June. And I'm here to talk about Ningxia and my experience with it during pregnancy, my whole breastfeeding and postpartum journeys. So don't mind me looking over here. I had to write myself some notes so I don't
recommend
just
it.
blabble.
Like, I hate when they're promoting the supplements to take during pregnancy and during nursing when it's not recommended for it.
Yeah, one of the first things when I was first pregnant with Sparrow, and I guess every pregnancy afterwards, the first thing they did was give me like a pamphlet of things to avoid, and essential oils just in general were on that pamphlet. Like, because you don't fucking know, dude.
Yeah, I would not chance it.
No, I wouldn't either. And there hasn't been research on that shit because, like, no pregnant mother wants to potentially harm their baby for research. Like, no one
it
wants
would be
to do
unethical
that. Yeah,
to
yeah.
do that study.
So there's not enough studies like that.
I had my son, who's my first, in April of 2020. Obviously a crazy time. I probably would have considered myself pretty healthy going into that pregnancy. I'd just gotten married and was probably the thinnest and fittest of my life, which is kind of how I gauged my health. I didn't really use oils. I still thought they were like bogus at that time. And then during my pregnancy, someone told me about peppermint oil because I was having terrible headaches and I refused to take anything because I didn't want anything to mess with the baby.
But my doctor was always telling me like Tylenol's fine.
Yeah.
You can take Tylenol. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't taking it like all the time, but when I needed it,
right. Yeah.
I took it and I didn't have guilt because
yeah, because like it's safe. I mean, I think you're supposed to avoid like ibuprofen and aspirin and stuff.
Yeah.
But like Tylenol's supposedly fine and it works just fine. And she's like, I didn't want to take anything, but one person told me about this essential oil, so I just started using it without asking her doctor, presumably.
Like, what makes that okay, but not this?
Right. I guarantee that her doctor was like, Tylenol's fine, take some Tylenol. Right. And she's just like, no, I don't want to take anything. Oh, but this essential oil is fine. And, you know, I'll give her this. Peppermint oil, I have used it for like mild headaches before.
Yeah. Just like I've used lavender. Like,
right.
But it smells nice.
Because it smells nice, yeah. Well, like peppermint has that menthol, so like it makes your head feel really cold. So I think it's more so it like, I don't think it like seeps into your brain and heals your headache. Like I think it just kind of distracts from the feeling because now your forehead is really cold.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know either, but it does take the edge off at least. I don't know why I would just do that instead of ibuprofen or something. I think just if it's just like
I've had like peppermint gum.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I mean they even say like that kind of stuff for nausea and everything. Regardless, she's like no Tylenol but essential oils. Okay.
Ningxia Red.
Ningxia Red.
This whole blend, this proprietary blend.
Totally fine.
Totally fine.
Did she run it past her doctor, though? Probably not. And if she did, I can't imagine the doctor would be like, that's fine.
Unless it was a functional medicine doctor.
That's true. I mean, they could have been like, no, Tylenol's bad.
I had a pretty healthy pregnancy. I saw like a nutritionist and a chiropractor regularly, and I stayed on a pretty like robust supplement routine, kept a pretty healthy diet. And then I had my son.
So she should have gone to see a registered dietitian because nutritionist is not a protected title. Anybody can call themselves a nutritionist. She was seeing a chiropractor nutritionist.
Is that what she said? A chiropractor nutritionist?
She said nutritionist and chiropractor.
Okay, I took that as two separate things, but
I think in a little bit she might say it was the same person, if I understood correctly.
Okay. But I mean, I guess that's not surprising.
Even if it wasn't the chiropractor being the nutritionist, still.
For the whole first year, he stopped nursing right before a year. It was just a constant roller coaster. Like first, I didn't realize that I was supposed to be feeding him more than I was. And then we thought he had some sort of tie, and then it seemed fine. And then he had a neck issue, and then we got that resolved. And then like just when we seemed to get everything figured out around 8 weeks, we found that he had this dairy intolerance. So then I went dairy free and I was pumping myself to death and taking all the supplements and I was drinking mother's milk tea and my supply was going down. And then I realized that I probably had an aversion to fenugreek. A lot of women are helped by fenugreek for lactating, but a lot of women actually have the opposite reaction. And I seem to be one of them. So that was really discouraging because I've been like just trying to do all of the things and I was just kind of despairing. And then I I was seeing my nutritionist at this time. She's a chiropractor, pretty holistic minded, obviously. And she was telling me that I was just like totally depleted. She said I would be considered anemic by a doctor, but the way she would just
she like just straight up admits like, I was not seeing a doctor for this.
The doctor would consider you anemic.
The doctor would have said I was anemic and treated me the way that I should have been treated. But no, we don't do doctors here.
Was that my blood was really weak and just like I had nothing there. I was just
Who says that?
Depleted. During this time also, I found that I had a really big ovarian cyst and I had surgery for that. There was just so much going on.
Did a doctor do that surgery? The doctor better
have done that surgery. A doctor would have called her anemic, but the chiropractor said her blood was weak.
That's just a much nicer term. Anemic sounds scary, but weak blood, you can fix things that are weak. You just gotta work it out. Work out your blood. Exercise your blood. Make it stronger. What the fuck is she talking about? Do your red blood cells even lift?
And every time I would get sick, my supply would drop even more. So fine, we were sinking money into
why was she getting sick so much? That's not her fault. If you're getting sick often, like maybe that's not working with the chiropractor, nutritionists, all the supplements, supply issues. That might be a sign. Need to go elsewhere.
Or, this whole time she probably should have just been seeing a doctor. I think you're right when you were saying that I don't think that she was even like seeing a doctor in the first place. Because if she wasn't even taking Tylenol, but peppermint oil was fine. Yeah, it doesn't sound like she was getting proper prenatal care.
The brand Holly, I don't know how you say it, formula for my son because he had to have dairy-free formula. And I was trying to get him, the highest quality I could since he couldn't, since he wasn't getting enough breast milk. And I was doing all of this to myself. And then at 8 months, my cycle came back. And at 9 months, I got pregnant with my daughter. So I was just like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. And then I was even sicker my first trimester with her than I was with him. He was still nursing. And I was just so drained. So I decided to try Ningxia because by that time I had been a member for maybe like 6 months and didn't really believe that it would work because I never believe anything will work, especially when people rave about how great it is. It's like, okay, whatever, it's not work. But I just needed to try something. I was nauseated all the time, food aversions. I had no energy. It was just terrible. So I started
almost like she should have seen a registered dietitian who specializes in prenatal care.
Who would have thought that that's probably what any fucking normal person would do? Oh my god. Like
coconut's here.
That's a big fluffy, a big floof. Pop-Tarts right there, Shishi. Oh, hi, Papa.
Cat party.
Just 2 ounces a day. I had to keep myself at 2 ounces a day because I like it so much. I could just like chug the whole bottle.
Okay, you don't do that. We literally just got done saying you shouldn't fucking do that. 2 to 4 ounces a day.
While she's pregnant and breastfeeding.
Yeah, that too. I can't imagine that there's any doctor that would be like, that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
No, not reputable.
I guess like it kind of just tells the story of how, people just like get desperate, I guess. But but obviously she wasn't even like seeing a doctor for all this shit.
It's the desperation and have a lot of like sympathy and compassion for that. The issue is when you start to like promote that.
I feel like a lot of what she's complaining about probably could have been prevented if she was seeking like the proper prenatal care that I'm assuming she didn't have because, she was seeing a chiropractor nutritionist.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, like very quickly, my nausea and food aversions started clearing up.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, well, that's just a coincidence. I'm getting to that like second trimester and I'm just getting over it.
Yeah.
But then my energy levels were way, way up. And that was, my son.
It's very common when you hit the second trimester.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was the Ningxia.
And I had nausea and food aversions all the way to the end. I had like first trimester tiredness and I thought that was bad. And then second trimester fatigue. Like I never had like a second trimester honeymoon phase with my son. It was just like.
But not everyone does, and not every pregnancy does. Like, oh my god, it's so frustrating because she's sitting here comparing both of her pregnancies. I didn't have anything, like, crazy between my son and my daughter, like, any crazy lifestyle changes or anything, and both pregnancies were still different in their own ways. Like, that's common. Some people have, like, a really, really easy pregnancy the first time, and the second time they're puking the whole time. It's like, that's common. She even admitted, she's like, maybe it's just coincidence.
So close.
Yeah, they're almost
So
there.
close.
But like, correlation doesn't equal causation, ma'am. I wish I could shove this into their thick skulls. Every single one of these people in Young Living and any health MLM, that correlation's not causation. And also, a lot of it's probably placebo.
I just get some like, I don't know, like lactivism vibes from her as well. And
Lactivism?
yeah, like just this, like breastfeeding is great. I still breastfeed my 1-year-old, but it's not like the end all be all. Like you can have them be formula fed. They can get everything that they need from there. So I just hate when people feel like they have to breastfeed. And if they're having issues that it's their fault or like they should try to do that, because that doesn't work for everybody and it doesn't need to. And I hate that it's put like on this pedestal.
I mean, I loved breastfeeding my kids, like,
I
but
do too. Like it's yeah.
I had a way harder
meant
time
for
with
us.
Sparrow than I did with Griffin. I know what she means. I know how, like, I had mastitis like so many times with Sparrow, and I only ended up getting, well, not so many times, maybe like 3 times maybe, but it was still a lot. Like, and it was painful and it sucked, and my milk supply sucked, and it wasn't great. And with Griffin, it was a lot easier, and I don't think that was a matter of like, oh, well, it's because it's your second time. It's like, it's just because everything's different.
And the pressure to do that though.
There is a lot of pressure, and I hate that that's a thing that like mothers have to deal with. It's like a fed baby is the best baby. Let's just put it that way. Who cares how they're getting the milkies? Fed is best.
Bad, worse, and then worse. So in the second trimester with my daughter, I was just like, had so much energy. I felt amazing. And I was like, okay, well, this is definitely better. Like my nausea and food aversions were totally gone. It was so much better. So then I had my daughter, and my midwife knew that I'd been drinking the Ningxia, and she commented on how thick my daughter's cord was,
sake.
and said that could have been from Ningxia, because like Ningxia placenta is a thing. But
Ningxia placenta's
Ningxia placenta.
only a thing with these
Hopefully
people.
she wasn't eating it too.
Let's be honest, she probably did. I know there was I think it was an MLM fails video I did, but like some lady was posting pictures of her Ningxia placenta. I don't think I put it in the video because it's obviously gross. Like, if you've ever seen a placenta, they're not cute.
I asked to see mine, but I was like, okay, you can take it.
I don't think I saw either of mine. They just like took it out and was like,
I was just
plop.
curious. Like the science person in me was just like, let me see.
Yeah,
But,
I would have been curious, but I guess I just wasn't thinking about it that either of those times. You know, you just kind of pushed
Yeah,
a
there's a
human
lot
out of your
going
body.
on.
So yeah, I hate this. She's like, Ningxia placenta is a thing. The only people who say Ningxia placenta is a thing are people who are shilling Young Living.
like I'm sure her midwife was.
Oh yeah. And well, because she's like, oh yeah, she knew I was drinking Ningxia. It's like, yeah, she probably is the one who told you to.
And I feel like most, if not like every health MLM will say that, because when I did like Tower Garden Juice Plus, and I have my whole story on my channel, but there were people who would talk about like Juice Plus babies, and I hate it.
What?
No, yeah.
Griffin's downstairs going, what?
Exactly, Griffin.
He knows.
I hate it.
It's fruit juice. So you're gonna try to tell me that it makes your cord thick and your, oh my god, like shut up. No, it doesn't. I would love to see some like legitimate studies on like Ningxia placentas versus regular placentas, but like no one's gonna do that shit because no one cares unless you're in Young Living. They're the only ones who think this is a thing.
So I continued with Ningxia through my postpartum period, and I mean since then, but I drank extra during that time postpartum, and my daughter breastfed amazingly. My milk supply was amazing. She never has taken a drop of formula. She refused to take a bottle. I tried to pump and give her bottles. I still have freezer stash, and she's 15 months old. I still have freezer stash that we haven't worked through.
Hey, that was me with Griffin. It's funny though, I
Yeah.
didn't drink Ningxia. I wasn't drinking Ningxia with Griffin.
I recently went, I had a work trip. My son, he's the same age as hers, her kiddo, but I didn't save any of the milk just because he's eating mostly solids, but he's still nursing multiple times a day. And I pumped no lie, like 20 ounces.
Oh my god.
I didn't realize how much milk that he was still getting, but I was like, dang. And the only reason why I say that is that because like I'm not taking anything like that.
Right. You know, if you
Not
were
even like the
taking
season
Ningxia,
salad.
you would have pumped 40 ounces. So.
Right. It just depends on the person.
I think there's a lot of things that probably go into it, like milk supply and stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of things, but I'm sure that a fruit juice with some essential oils in it is not going to be the thing that's helping you. Like, what the hell? It's so frustrating. I stopped breastfeeding because I knew I was going to go out to Chicago to see Savvy for like 3 or 4 days. I was like, I have to stop. Like, I cannot like just be pumping half the time while I'm out there, dude. I can't do it. I'm glad I ended up getting out of it, but I miss breastfeeding sometimes. I still do.
I'm kind of like on the like when are we gonna end this, little dude? Like
I was like that too, and I was waiting for Griffin to end it, and then he was 18 months old, and I was going out of town, and I was like, I'm ending it. Like I have no choice. Honestly, to this day, I'd probably still be breastfeeding him because he's a mama's boy, and I'm sure your son is too. So it's like, you get it. I mean, I feel you too. It gets to a point where you're like, okay, when is this gonna be over? It's been forever. So this girl looks like Mandy Moore.
she's really pretty.
She's super pretty, but like I keep seeing from
kind of like a Walk to Remember.
yes, that's
Yes.
exactly what I was gonna say from when she's on stage doing that song.
I was just producing so much
Yeah,
milk.
she really does.
Yeah.
And I would get sick. I still thought like, okay, this is a coincidence. It's not the Ningxia because, you know, second children a lot of times do better. Like your body knows better. And
Okay.
stuff like that. But then I realized that when I was sick, my supply would go up instead of going down like it was before. And I would always drink double the Ningxia when I was sick.
Oh,
And I was
come
like,
on.
oh,
Why is
well,
she getting
that
sick so much again? Like
It's because she doesn't know what a f***ing doctor is. It's because she's letting a chiropractor and a midwife tell her how to live her life. At least she admitted like it wasn't the Ningxia, but
Right.
then like went around and was like, but I was sick and this, that. So I don't know. But she's like, again,
multiple times it sounds like.
she's correlating something that probably has nothing to do with anything she's talking about.
makes sense because there's no way that it's going to go up when I'm sick when before it was always going down, which makes sense because you're more depleted. But during that time of being sick, I would always take extra and just get that extra boost. So I didn't have any anemia. I felt great postpartum. I just my energy levels, everything since then. Even despite the fact that she was way worse a sleeper than my son. So I was getting less sleep. I had a toddler to chase after and a newborn, and I had more energy than I ever did after my son. Like I just felt terrible after my son. So this pregnancy, which I was, my daughter was 11 months when I got pregnant, or 12 months when I got pregnant with this baby. And the
How
first trimester nausea
exhausting.
was still pretty bad, but it cleared up way sooner than I did with my daughter. Like it cleared up before I'm not even in the second trimester yet. I'm not even 20 weeks and it's been cleared for several weeks.
The second trimester starts at like 14 weeks, doesn't it?
Yeah, 13. And I think there was 9 months and then she got a second pregnancy and then 11 months. That's a lot.
That's exhausting.
One of the main reasons I got into selling Young Living products is because of how much I struggled with pregnancy and breastfeeding and seeing that my story is not an uncommon one. Like I don't know who these women are who just breastfeed and like tandem feed their 3 children, but that's not me. And I don't think it's very many women because I like half the people I talk to are like, oh no, that's not me. It's always been a struggle. And I just had like this, I had so many emotional breakdowns during my breastfeeding. You know, I was with my son. I remember just sitting there crying to my husband, like, this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
But I wonder also how much of that is because they are maybe depleted. Who is she talking to? Who is a group of people who are having that experience? Are they like severely restricting calories? Are they like only going for like clean foods and things like that? Like, are they doing things in order to make it easier, but actually causing more harm?
I just know that there are plenty of people out there who have no issues breastfeeding. And then, yeah, there are people who do.
And there is like a learning process kind of, but like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering how her experience would have been if she would have seen a medical doctor and a registered dietitian.
Yeah. And then like they have like lactation consultants and stuff
lactation
too.
consultants.
In hospitals. Like you can go see those people and they help you.
Free.
So yeah. Yeah. It sounds like she was just like being really selective with whatever postpartum and I guess prenatal resources she had.
Yeah.
It sucks. I don't like to hear that there's any woman who like desperately wants to breastfeed but can't because like I understand that. Like I'm like breastfeeding is amazing, but like it makes me upset, but I'm sad that she's like using all this shit to be like this helped me breastfeed when it's like no it didn't. It just like factually, objectively did not help you with breastfeeding. And then she's making money off of it. And that's why it's really frustrating.
And so to have something now that I can rely on, that has been proven, that I can take with me now into this pregnancy and any future ones, it's such a big blessing. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for having me. I'll turn it back over to Kim.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I will tell you that we did not find Young Living until my youngest kid was I think 5 or 6 years old. And that's like one of the like saddest things to my heart is that I did not have oils and Ningxia when my babies were little. And
come on.
I had a really hard time with nursing as well, especially with like supply. And I had really difficult pregnancies as well. And I know for a fact that if I had had Ningxia, they would have been completely different.
No, you don't though.
Like, what do they think that the rest of us are doing? Because we're not drinking Ningxia. You and I have long-term breastfed babies. And while I have tried Ningxia for a video one time, that had no effect.
That was it, Savannah.
You're right. That's the reason. That's the reason that even before, I think Griffin was maybe like 4 or 5 months old or something when I tried the Ningxia. So like all that breastfeeding leading up to it wasn't the same after I tried that Ningxia. And then I was able to go for like a whole other year. It changed everything.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, dude. Like, how much Ningxia do you drink every day, Kat, for your breastfeeding?
Oh, man.
How many ounces do you drink? Because we know you do, because that's the only way you can breastfeed.
I was drinking coffee.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Our next person that is going to share is Glory. So I'm, again, going to mute myself, and Glory, you just share with us when you're ready.
Hey guys, thank you so much, Kim.
Oh my God.
Glory.
She's just got a diffuser just going right in her face.
Yeah.
Look at it.
First I was like, is something smoky and is something?
No, that's an essential oil diffuser in her face. I bought one of those kind of diffusers that you put the water in it and then you put a couple drops of oil. I bought one of those because like I wanted to try it. I'm like, all of these oily people, they have so many good things to say. So like I had a room, not a big room, but like it was like my old office, and I bought one of those just to diffuse in there because I didn't want my cats being all up in it and stuff. Like the first day I was diffusing, I put like 2 drops in the little reservoir with water. I couldn't be in there, dude. It was giving me a headache. It was so bad. And that was just me being in the room. I see these people with this shit going in their face. I'm like, how do you do this?
It's because you had toxicities that you needed to.
It was just the detox. That's what it was.
Out. I should have mentioned this. Technically, I was a Young Living representative.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
What?
So one of my friends, she was a fellow military spouse, and I wanted to support her in her business. And this was before I was anti-mlm, and yeah. So I purchased a starter kit, and my understanding starter was like you're starting in oils, like you're starting like to build your collection. It wasn't to start selling it. That clarification was just not there. And so apparently like a year later, I got a text from her upline being like, hey, do you want to like make another purchase or like just make sure that you're still like an active person? I was like, what? And that's when I found out that she actually had signed me up as a distributor.
That's wild.
Yep.
Not surprising.
And
though.
I only bought that one.
Yeah. The starter kit.
I had to throw it away mostly because I didn't feel comfortable with the cats.
Super excited to share with you guys tonight for a minute about my health journey and how I just really found such a game changer for my hormonal health. So it was about almost 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I was a newlywed, and I had just recently gotten on birth control pills. And it didn't take long for me to realize that was something that just wasn't working for me. I was personally experiencing every single side effect in the book that there is. And I'm not like bashing birth control. If you use it and it works for you, then that's great. Everyone has to find what works for them, and it did not work for me. So it just wreaked a lot of havoc for my hormones. And so I read the inserts that I was told not to read. And then I decided.
Who told you not to read those? Certainly not your doctor.
Right. They want you to be
informed.
educated.
Yeah. And she's right. Okay. Like, because I've been on a few different birth control pills before. Like, I think the first time I was ever on birth control, I was on the same pill for like 2 years. And then it suddenly started making me have like breakthrough bleeding and stuff or whatever. And I had to change. Like, I think that's common with birth control.
Even after I was already postpartum, I had gotten back on a birth control, and it caused me to have high blood pressure. And so my doctor like had me stop it. Your body goes through different changes, and sometimes it's not the best thing for you, and that's okay.
I feel for her in this way because I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, it fucks with your hormones. Where is she going with this? Is she about to say she's using essential oils for birth control? She fucking better not.
Just cold turkey, stop taking it. And I was like, I've got to like feel like myself again. That was like the main thing I would say. It was like, I don't feel like myself. I feel like I don't have control over my emotions. And that's a terrible feeling, especially as a woman, because we already have a lot of emotions, like anyway. And so I was just like, I felt so imbalanced and just like needing to just like,
not all women, but
Right. Yeah.
being on birth control. And after coming off of it, I was having 2 periods a month, which was not a normal thing. Like I wasn't having that before being on birth control. So that was like really a struggle for me. I was like, okay, I've got to get this fixed. Like, again, just like really not fun thing to be in. And so that's when I was introduced to Young Living. I saw someone else sharing their story of how they naturally balance their hormones again and how like oils can help with that. And I was like, I had no idea. And so I was like, give me all the hormone support right now, please. So I got started with like a starter kit, started switching out my products and things. But it was when I started using Progesterone Plus. I got it on like my first or second Essential Rewards order. It used to be called Essential Rewards back then, a few years ago. And I started using that consistently. And you guys, like I started to have a normal cycle once a month, like the 2 period a month thing, like went away.
Something that would actually balance your hormones, like wouldn't you think that that would be something that has to be prescribed by a doctor? Like you can't just buy stuff like that from
progesterone creams and stuff like that. Like you don't want to mess with that.
I think I'm thinking of progesterone. It's prescribed to pregnant women a lot because I was looking into that. Oh my God, this is making me even more mad just thinking about it. But like I was coming out of 2 miscarriages when I got pregnant with Griffin. I had heard that like progesterone supplements and stuff can help keep a pregnancy basically, and I was so fucking scared, obviously, because of my history with pregnancies. I asked my doctor about getting those supplements. They were like $500 a month, not covered by insurance. And what makes me mad about this is that like Progesterone Plus sounds like it's trying to replace progesterone. You know that they're like, oh, you don't need progesterone to keep your pregnancy. Your doctor wants you to spend $500 a month on keeping your pregnancy. No. Just take this Progesterone Plus. I don't know what's in Progesterone Plus, but I can guarantee it's not what
and
they're
if your
selling
doctor
as.
is prescribing it, they are aware of how much based on your current levels and how often, like they know the whole story. This is just a supplement, like the damage that it could do to somebody who is pregnant.
I'm gonna look this up. I need to know what's in this Progesterone Plus.
Whenever I hear something like hormonally causing those kind of issues, like that is something that you don't want to mess around with.
So it's a serum designed
Like
specifically for women and made with natural bio-identical progesterone. What the f does that mean?
Essentially like the progesterone creams that you can purchase online,
Okay.
that you should have a doctor follow your case for and prescribe. And
It's just a bunch of essential oils. It's frankincense, cedarwood, triglyceride, bergamot.
I just don't understand how they can be like so okay with something like this and not evidence-based.
Right. I mean, it does say that there's USP grade progesterone from wild yam extract, but like that's I don't know what that means either, but like
that would be like a great pharmacist doctor question.
Right. Yeah. Someone in the comments will say
outside of my scope, and I would feel so concerned and scared to take that on my own without having like talk to someone else.
But I also can't imagine that they put that much in there either to like actually make a difference when you're talking about like how much progesterone is needed when it's diagnosed to a pregnant woman or something like that, or if you need it to balance whatever hormones and stuff. Like I can't imagine something like this would actually do that for you.
I mean, they could be taking handfuls of it, like the
I mean, it's a
Super C thing.
serum.
Handfuls of it, like the multiple uses.
I'm finding this interesting. On Young Living's website, it says like it's got at the top, oh you can't see it, but it said there's like a little banner at the top that says 10 people viewed this in the past 24 hours. That doesn't sound like a lot.
That's not a lot of people.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And at least one of those is an anti-mlm.
So a 15 milliliter bottle of this also retails for $56.91, almost $57. For 15 milliliters, that's small. Hold on, I still have this stupid. This is 30 milliliters. That's half of that. Wait, hold on. I had these up here for a video. This is 10, so a little bigger than this for $55.
Oh my gosh.
Just shoving this all over these pregnant women, or at least women who have hormonal issues. It makes me so mad.
It was like so like down to a wire, like once a month, exactly a month apart. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like it was such an answer to prayer. I mean, like if you've ever had that happen, like you know how like that is just very unfortunate. And so
Progesterone Plus saved me from mommy rage. What is mommy rage?
If you're so angry after having a baby that you had to put a title on it like that, mommy rage, I think you need to get like actual like professional help.
And that's like a thing. Like if you truly need that, like that is okay. Get support for that, not a little oil.
Not some fucking lavender oil, like lavender and progestins plus, like what?
That was just such an amazing game changer to just like feel like I was getting on the right track again to being normal and having that normal like cycle like it should be. So that was a huge, huge, huge relief. And as I continued to use it consistently, I just started to feel more like myself again, which is just so amazing. Like, yeah, just help me feel more balanced, more just like grounded with my emotions. Yes, it is just incredible. And if I ever run out of Progestins Plus, I definitely notice a difference. I'm like, that was the worst mistake ever, like ordering more right now. I really try hard to not run out of it because it is like literally like put me on an island. And if I could only have a few oils, these would be like my top three, like Progestins Plus, Endoflex, and Valor. Like if I take these three, I feel like I stay pretty sane. But they really, really helped so much. Yeah, so I definitely notice when I am not taking it if I run out. So the other one that I love and use is also Endoflex. This is so good for your thyroid health. I just roll it on every single day. And it's again, one that I notice if I run out of. It helps so much with, like Kim was mentioning earlier, your adrenals and things like that. It's just so good for supporting that, especially if you are stressed or just a busy season of life. I feel like it's definitely an oil everyone can benefit from. And then
because some people are going to have like Hashimoto's and want to try that.
I hear them preach about Endoflex all the time. Like on that oil show, they're always throwing out Endoflex, Endoflex, Endoflex. So like that's probably expensive as too, just like the rest of their oils. So
I mean, I have Hashimoto's and it is well controlled with medication, no oil.
But imagine how much healthier you could be if you just stopped taking your medication and rub some Progestins Plus on your belly.
On my throat.
On your throat. Ew.
If I miss any of those three oils, like I notice a difference. Like it just helps so much, helps me to feel just very like myself, and just my emotions are in check. They're just like very balanced and just like, I don't know, not as overwhelmed by like the things of life. So I'm just so thankful that I found these like natural tools, and definitely like the key is using them consistently. That has really, really helped a ton. And yeah, it's just awesome. Like, and I've been using them, for the past over like 3 years now. And I've just noticed from using them consistently, the hormone support, specifically Progestins Plus and Endoflex, it's really helped like with having less cramps during that time of the month, and just less like symptoms like that come along with that time of the month. So that's like another huge thing that I am super thankful for. It's just cool to see like when you pour into your health and into your body, like just to see kind of like the fruit of that, and to see like, wow, like it's just awesome how supporting your body and these simple tools can really just really overflow into your life and like make you feel better and function better and just not be just as hormonal or moody or struggling that time of the month or whatever it is. So yeah, these have been so incredible. I could talk about them on and on and on, but I will keep it short. But yeah, that is pretty much like my story with how Progestins Plus really, really was a game changer for my hormonal health. So thank you guys for having me tonight to share.
Thank you so much, Lori. Anybody else's has been ever brave enough to say, have you run out of Progestins Plus? Do you need to order more Progestins Plus? Because mine totally was brave enough to say that. And it's kind of like a catch-22, because you're on one hand, you're like, ooh, he's telling me to order more oils. But then on the other hand, he's like also saying like, you kind of need to dial it down a little bit. You need some Progestins Plus. Anyway.
What a jerk.
What?
Buy your wife some chocolate, okay? Don't tell her that she needs to go buy some fucking $57 essential oil.
Okay, next we are going to hear from Barb, and get your tissues ready because their story is just so incredibly powerful. I'm going to turn it over to her right now.
I'm Barb. This is my son, Tyler.
Yo.
Hello. And we're going to share Tyler's story today. So 4 years ago, I made a life-changing decision for our family, and this is a little bit of our story of hope that brought us to where we are today. So, Tyler, do you want to tell them a little bit about where you were, or?
About many years ago, I have lost track.
About 4.
Okay, about 4 years ago, my brain was in very bad place. And then mommy suggested I use oils. So I used oils. It helped my brain, and I actually slept.
Yes. So when Tyler was in high school, he had some incidents happen to him that changed his life and all of our lives. And we spent every day after that just trying to keep him alive. So he was put on multiple medications. They caused hallucinations. He was diagnosed schizophrenic. The medicines made him want to kill himself every single day. And he just would have complete meltdowns, hysterical fits. He'd bang his head against the wall or anything he could, just trying to get the evil thoughts out. And this would just happen so many times a day that it basically was the entire day. Like we never had a break. And so we just lived in constant fear for his life. And it just took a huge toll on all four of us. We looked at options and everyone decided it was best that he needed to stay with us because he needed that constant place where he was fully loved. And so we all lived in fear in our own home for years. And we never knew what would set him off. So it would just be completely random. It could be a word, a scene on TV. We just weren't safe to do or say anything in our own home. And it got to the point he wouldn't go see his friends anymore. And when I asked him why, he said he didn't want them to see his face. He thought everyone saw on the outside what he was feeling on the inside. And he almost never left the house for almost 3 years. So I'd lost all hope of ever having our son back, like he was gone. His body was still there, but his mind was not. And our sweet little boy who loved everyone and everything had been replaced with someone who knew nothing but anger and hatred and fear. And so finally, as I was desperately seeking help for him, I did find Young Living. And about 6 months later, I bought him the Freedom Sleep and Release Kit. And he's always had issues sleeping. And the first night that he used the Freedom Sleep Kit was the first night that he slept through the night in his life. He was 17 years old. And so he actually wants to share with you how to use this kit. And so he's going to tell you about the oils that are in it and how he uses them and a little bit about how they've helped him.
Whoa,
Real loud here so they can hear you.
This is valor. You put it on your heart. I'd say it's a heart of valor. Yes. Now this is aroma sleep. You put it on the back of your neck so you smell it while you sleep. This is inner harmony. You put it on your wrists. Yes. And this is the most important oil ever made, freedom. You put it on your feet, or I say you put it anywhere, and you can smell it all day if you need to.
Yes. So Tyler's, the Freedom Oil is actually when we realized the power of these products. So I was away at physical therapy and his autism specialist kept messaging me saying, you have to come home, you have to come home. And I got home and he'd basically been trying to kill himself for like 3.5 hours straight. And like his dad and the specialist, they didn't know what to do. They couldn't figure out what to do. And I tried some other things. And finally, I got his Freedom Oil and I kind of rubbed it up his back and put it under his nose. And less than 15 minutes of that, he was sitting at the kitchen table eating dinner like nothing had happened. And so we figured out that we could stop his attacks usually very quickly just by grabbing the Freedom Oil. The whole family knows to look for the horse, and just grabbing the Freedom Oil and just getting it under his nose would normally stop it. If we didn't get it stopped in time, I can just hold him, rub it in his hair and just hold him. And so what happened was he was getting better, and we went 3 or 4 months without a single episode. And then all of a sudden he started having them again, just occasionally. And we actually pinpointed it to him going 3 days without his Ningxia. And so tell them about Ningxia, Tyler.
Oh, this is Ningxia. It is red fruit juice. It's very good for you. And it's also yummy.
Yes. And so we know, like, we make sure we do not run out of Ningxia when we realized that the benefit of it for him, I mean, it is life to him. And because his issues are so much mental, we started adding MindWise and the mineral essence right into his Ningxia. And that has also helped him quite a bit. And just this month, he and I actually both went to see the same doctor that Kim was talking about that she had seen. And he's actually said, yes, not only is the Ningxia helping, but Tyler needs to up it another ounce. And so even the doctor, said it was helping. And the other thing that we did for him was just changing the products in our home. He had, since he was a little fella, he had he actually had a diagnosed skin disease. It almost looked like welts up his whole body if he got in water or got warm. And they're like, it may never go away. And as soon as we switched to the Thieves laundry soap, it was gone. And so it was
I hate this.
I'm sorry I let that play for so long because I kept looking for a place to stop and she just kept saying more and more and more. And I didn't want to interrupt her because what the oh my god, there's so much.
The fact that she is using him
disgusting.
It's telling his whole story. The consent of telling his whole story.
I'm at a loss for words. I mean,
Lack of consent.
there's so much I want to say and I don't know how to get it to come out of my mouth, but it's like, she said that he stopped freaking out for a while and then he went 3 days without his fucking fruit juice and started freaking out again. It was because of this fruit juice. Saying that he's like emotionally sound if he's drinking this fucking fruit juice. No, just not. It's fruit juice, dude.
And the functional doctor who's promoting that.
Yeah, because she was saying that she went to go see the same doctor as that first lady or whatever the fuck. It's like, okay, yeah, because she clearly knows what she's talking about. That lady is probably making so much goddamn money off of these poor people.
The exploitation of his story even is just like my heart is literally like pounding right now. Like,
yeah, it makes me mad. Like,
Yeah.
I'm furious. Like, I'm
Yeah.
fucking angry. So I don't know what it's like to be the mother of an autistic child or, you know, any other issues like that. But, like, I can imagine that it's very, very difficult.
And there's
like
a whole spectrum.
Yeah. And like we were saying earlier, it's a desperation thing a lot of the times. And I can totally understand where she's coming from and why she would try Young Living if she's tried everything else. And I'm actually totally okay with the use of essential oils for people who need that kind of sensory, because there are people on the spectrum who require like sensory things to calm them. Like I remember in that
the
Netflix,
documentary.
yeah, she would
Yes.
she would always sniff sunscreen. She had a daughter that would carry around a bottle of sunscreen and smell it.
It was a
and
very different approach than
this. Yeah. No, this is,
it feels wrong, icky, gross.
there's 200 people on this Zoom listening to her. And look at all those oils behind them too, dude. Like thousands of dollars of oils that they've spent money on. And again, like if it helps him, at least like for, you know, in that way that sensory, you know, smells and stuff are good for some people on the spectrum, that's great. And I would not ever want that taken away from him. However, the way that she's using him to describe the benefits of these products, which I'll put it out here right now, not fucking true.
The 15 minutes of what she was saying
Kept him from offing himself. She's like, oh yeah, it only took me 15 minutes. And then he didn't want to unalive himself anymore.
he was sitting at the table eating. Like,
I don't know how this kind of stuff really works with kids on the spectrum, but like I can imagine they're very impressionable. And if you tell him, hey, all these things are helping you, he's going to believe it and just take it. And he's more prone to just believing anything that they tell him. And
I mean, he trusts him. That's his parent.
And again, like if it really is helping him, whether it's placebo or not, like I don't want to take that away from him, but I also don't like the idea of this mother just like presumably with a downline and basically selling these packages to people and look at all these essential oils that help us and you can click my link and buy them there. Like
How it can help autism. And I mean, even that, like, what does helping that mean? Like, does it mean putting them in a more neurotypical world? Like,
Like I have sympathy for this family because I can imagine like if you're put on pharmaceuticals and it only makes it worse, like she was saying, assuming that was true, that sucks. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but like
ableism, that's a whole nother kind of thing that you could go into. But like, how is it like helpy?
Just such a simple thing to do that no one had ever told us, that it was his laundry soap causing these issues. And so all that,
that
itching
one
and pain.
too. I mean, yeah, people can have skin irritations, two things like that. Like, it's not the thieves that is taking it all away. It's just something that was in the other laundry
like they
detergent.
straight up make laundry detergents like for newborn babies that don't have
Gentle.
for even adults, just like gentle, no perfumes and stuff like that. Like, and they're probably way less than the thieves shit. But no, it was the thieves.
And that's why we're here today, for all these things, from the little things to the big things. It's because all these things can help other people. And we want people to hear our story. And once he started sleeping better, then he kind of had some time there where he just needed more sleep support. And that was right when Young Living came out with the Kid Sense Unwind. And now he takes one of those and that helps him sleep. It actually calms your brain. And that's what calmed him to help him sleep. And so just switching all these everyday products has helped his health and all of our health. I'll tell my story another time. Tonight, I just wanted to talk about him. But he's just doing so much better. And his humor's back, his smile, his laughter, his love towards us and others. And we're just on this huge road of recovery. And so he's just doing so amazing. And we just feel so totally blessed.
Wow.
So first of all, thank you so much, Barb. Thank you so much, Tyler. this month, Barb traveled to Texas, again, to see the doctor that I saw, and then also to teach an
Of
oily
course they're in
bingo
Texas.
to
I
a
hate
group of
that.
us. And they stayed at my house while they were here. And
I'm in
I didn't
Texas,
tell
by the way.
Barb this, but one night before bed, Tyler sat on my couch and went through the Freedom Protocol. And I just sat there and I got to watch him go through it like he normally does every single night. And it was really like this life-changing moment for me to sit there and watch him do it, because I didn't know Barb before I started using oils. And Barb started using oils because I helped my sister start using oils, and my sister helped someone else start using oils. And then that person helped Barb start using oils. And then Barb is sitting on my couch and I'm watching her son go through this protocol on my couch. And it was just like this moment that hit me, this powerful, powerful moment that just hit me. And I went to bed and I just, with tears in my eyes. And so first of all, I think we learned tonight, everybody needs Ningxia and Progestins Plus, no matter what.
No.
And secondly,
We did
the
not
power
learn that.
You guys are saying that, but like, where's the evidence though?
of sharing these products with other people that really need them is just, it's really, really important to share with other people, because there's some other people, like, how in the world are they even walking around without these solutions? So we're so glad you guys joined us tonight.
Wow.
If you are not a Young Living member,
Savannah,
and you
how are we walking around? How are we able to nurse? And it's so funny because, and I was talking about this in a live stream a while back. Somebody was saying how, like, a lot of times people sharing their stories of how, like, energized they are and how, like, all of these good outcomes, it makes it really encouraging, or like you want to try those products. But the thing is that there are people who feel that way, who feel very energized and like just great, who aren't trying to sell something. And I would use the example of myself. Like, I'm doing good. Like, I feel good. But I don't talk about that. I don't like share my story of how energized I am and how great I feel typically, and like my nursing experience and things like that, because there's no need to. Like, I'm not trying to sell this kind of product or anything. And I think there are a lot of people who do feel great who aren't trying to sell stuff. And so, but you only hear the people feeling great who are trying to sell stuff.
Like, I'm sure if someone asked you, oh, how's your breastfeeding going, blah, 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 like, you'd tell them and talk to them about it, but like, you're not trying to make money off of this shit. And this is all people's health. I hate it, dude.
Like, I'm not making stories about how like great I feel. It's just weird. Same thing with the whole like money thing too. Like, I don't say, here's Starbucks because of my nutrition LLC.
Thanks to YouTube, I've been able to pay some bills. It's like, no.
That's weird.
It is weird. You're right, though. That's like exactly what these people do, except with their MLMs. All day, every day. How does it make you feel? How has it changed your life? It must be so emotionally and mentally exhausting to live your life that way. Just to constantly be like, I didn't post a story about how great I feel today. It's like so weird. The whole thing is weird.
Yeah, like, if you have to post how great you feel, like, do you really?
How good do you really feel? I don't know. I call bullshit on all of it, really.
Some of these stories tonight, and you're like, okay, I need Progestins Plus and Ningxia Red. The good news is that through tomorrow, there's a 15% off discount off of your very first order.
Of course.
All you have to do is talk to the person that invited you to this class, and they will walk you through it. They will
Class?
help you get what you needed and what you heard about tonight.
This was a class? Oh, shit. Was that the end? That was the end.
Yeah, I guess so.
This was a class?
This was a class.
I'm sorry.
It's
This
going to
was
be a
class.
test. That was a whole lot to unpack.
That was a lot. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I didn't have to do it alone.
Oh, thanks for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah.
Very upsetting, but fun at the same time.
I do find that despite how frustrating these Zooms are, it's still entertaining. But I don't know, like, if I was here by myself, I would probably be like screaming. So I appreciate you being my emotional support and also being smart about a lot of things. So
For the viewers, I'm sorry that you didn't get her screaming, because I know that's really
that's what you all come
entertaining.
here for anyway. No, you needed to be here and I appreciate you. So thank you.
I will be submitting these to the FTC.
Hell yeah. Links are
yeah.
always in my descriptions of my videos too, of how to submit reports and complaints to the FTC. So as always, yeah, make sure that you're doing that. But thank you, Kat. Check out Kat's channel, guys. She's wonderful and fabulous and very smart and pretty.
Oh.
Again, thank you to dietitian Kat Benson for being here for me through this. experience. Before we get going here, I just want to say thank you again to Earth Breeze for sponsoring this video. When they send you the product, it will be in new packaging and will not be ripped up like the one that I am holding now. But make sure that you check out their website and use my code to get 40% off your subscription with Earth Breeze. I highly recommend it. It's fabulous. And now I need to thank my patrons and my members. The list of names I'm about to read off are my financial supporters. They get access to things like our private Discord server. Sometimes they get early access to videos. We have a postcard club. I'm sending them little Valentines this month. It's going to be a lot of fun. And sometimes even more than that. So if any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/Savannah Marie, or you can click the join button beneath this video to join my YouTube memberships. It's all the same, just whatever platform you want to join on. And with that, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Hula Chowdown, Amanda Shannon, Christy Taylor, Elizabeth Wyatt, Jacqueline Nutton, Nitty Dragon, Leanne, Ryan Mew, Sheila Tapia, Willow Raymond, Alice W., Caroline Reed, Charlotte Treese, Daniel Urena, Heidi Haw, Kim Cartwright, Maddie Darley, Marley Fletcher, Ray, Tuesday the 13th, Turd Ferguson, Mira S.I.K., Laura Jensen, Mother Dragon 82. Justin, when you have like a B and a J, is it like Bjorn? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay. Han Bjornson, Baby Pink Pearl, Martine Hubert, Fallon Lowry, Hannah, Little Birdie, Miss Blue, Blazed Goddess, Carrie K, Love to Be Evil, Colin F, The Best Elephant, Jessica Billhart, Mitchie84, Jess Kronfeld, Emion, and Auntie Lou. And to the rest of my fabulous financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and being you. And even if you're not a financial supporter, thank you for making it to the end of this video. I don't know how you did that, but thank you, because this was not only long, but it was also extremely frustrating and just disgusting in all ways conceivable. So thank you. I appreciate it. Keep making waves, babes. I'll smell you all later. Mommy Tsunami out.